What's up, guys? This is Ninja on Ninja, and basically, I have a video today for you guys. It's actually kind of cool. It's an interesting one, a little bit interesting. It's not like a normal stand. It's not normal to what I normally make. It's actually related to Dragon Ball Z, which is pretty unique in that sense. So, anyways, I'm calling you out. Guy talking about DBZ and Alpha. So this is by Ken Black, who has about 3,000 subscribers. He has 50,000 views on this video. It's called How Vegeta Shattered the Myth of the Alpha Male. Okay. So I have a script, I guess. It's not too long, but it's decent. But anyways, I just point out this. So in the video, he talks about things, okay, and some of the things, like I'll let him just start.
Most people see Vegeta as nothing more than pride and ego, but beneath that pride is a man at war with himself, a war he slowly began to lose. Today we'll use philosophy and sociology to explore how Vegeta's story proves that real strength begins where domination ends. By the end of this,
And this is true and this is correct, but the guy screwed up basically. And he was on the wrong path, and he corrected the wrong path um, with another wrong path. And so what I'm gonna do, because what he did is actually good, and it's a good realization. It's just that his realization is one for like for example the DBZ world, and that doesn't, like, who cares? Like, it's DBZ, who cares? And that's basically what he did. But in reality, he thinks he figured it out, but he figured out another fake version, much like DBZ, but it's actually Hollywood, basically, right? It's the perceived variation. This is a guy saying Vegeta figured out to be a man. He needs to be an alpha, rather. He needs to stop trying to be an alpha, right? And that's basically the Saiyans and the Saiyan race is actually a lot like Hollywood, and the perception of what alpha is. And when you stop playing that game, that's the correction. When you stop being Saiyan, or when you stop pretending to be a Hollywood alpha, you step into reality where true alphas exist. Basically, this is the real world, not Hollywood or Saiyans or DBZ or whatever. The real world. Everyone is disillusioned and they're all brain rotted by this bullshit. This is why nothing works and everything's all fucked up, because the illusion is breaking apart. All we have now is greedy people trying to take what they can because the world's falling apart. That's what's happening. Okay, so um, anyways,
this video, you won't just see Vegeta differently, you'll never see masculinity in the same way again. In this video, you won't just see Vegeta differently, you'll
all video clubs. I don't. Okay.
never see masculinity in the same way again.
Again, it's not masculinity that he's talking about. It's Hollywood masculinity. Okay? That's the correction. I'm jumping the gun here. That's the ending. He thinks he's showing you, oh, you shouldn't be that. Right, you shouldn't. Like, he's using Vegeta and the DBZ world, and Vegeta is a Saiyan, and he used, and he's saying, oh, that's Alpha. But in reality, Alpha's over here. You're being a fake version. And what I'm saying is that his idea of masculinity is Hollywood's masculinity. And so he's saying, don't be like Hollywood. And he's correcting himself. And that's what I'm trying to point out. So he's talking about DBZ, but I'm talking about Hollywood. You understand? So to replace DBZ with Hollywood, and it'll make more sense. Like, that's how I look at it. That's how I see it. He realized it, but he doesn't realize that it's our perceived alpha, basically. He sees it in the DBZ, as in Vegeta and being a Saiyan, and he needs to not be a Saiyan and not worry about who's stronger, blah blah blah, and that is masculinity to him. But in reality, it's actually just stop with the Hollywood, um, what they're telling you to be, like the biggest dog in the yard. Like this is society. This is society. This isn't nature. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, okay. So that was it. That's the intro. I wanted to give him that. So I watched all of this, but I didn't start. So I started commenting at 13 minutes. Now, for 13 minutes, first off, I don't see what anything you said has to do with an alpha so far. And at this point in time, was 13 minutes in. You have to work on your structure, dude. So so real quick, let me read the comment. I feel like the comment's necessary. So I haven't posted the comment yet. Hey, what's up? My name is Ninja. I'm making a video about you. I don't normally charge people for these things. Basically, what are things like this? Basically, what I do is I watch the video, I pat you in the head if you do good, or I correct your mistakes. I am the ultimate alpha top tier daddy McDaddy, hold the cheese, coach and father to all people on earth, and I do what a dad does. Most people have to pay for my time, but some people get a free run by. I also post comments for those who clearly need the help, but if I feel a problem doesn't need a video, then I will leave it at that. But if they if they need a video, I will make a video. But if if they need a video, I will make a video, right? So that's what's going on. He's basically a kid doing stuff, and I'm going to tear it apart as a teacher, correcting his homework, essentially, right? Again, he has a perception of reality, and all I'm doing is correcting it. So instead of DBZ and Saiyan, it's Hollywood and Alpha. You understand? It's Hollywood perception and reality. Everyone lives in Hollywood and pretend land, but they're fighting with reality right now. Reality is knocking on our doors right now. That's why the world's falling apart. It's because the two worlds are becoming one, basically. And so, yeah. So, anyways, I started at 13 minutes, so we'll go to 13 minutes. 13. Okay.
Philosopher from the 20th is an important part of the man he becomes and the man he would reject later on in the third arc of the story. Let's get a little bit deeper with this concept. Jean-Paul Sartre was a French philosopher from the 20th century. Sartre is known intellectually for many things, including his concept of intersubjectivity. Part of Sartre's intersubjectivity is seeing yourself in another person through interactions with other people. This is exactly what happens with Bulma and Vegeta. Bulma can see the man Vegeta is because to some degree they are the same person in different fonts. Have you ever had a
So go back. I screwed up there. I was trying to pause it, but I fucked. Anyways,
Sartre is known
so everything he says right here,
intellectually for many things, including his concept of intersubjectivity.
okay, all of that is basically, at least how I understand it, That's what empathy is. Talk about stealing another man's thunder. So this guy is now talking about empathy, but he's trying to create a new word for it, basically. It's trying to steal credit for it's just empathy.
Sartre is known with this concept.
Right.
Jean-Paul Sartre was a French philosopher from the 20th century. Sartre is known intellectually for many things, including his concept of intersubjectivity.
Intersubjectivity, that's empathy.
Part of Sartre's intersubjectivity is seeing yourself in another person through interactions with other people. This
Right. That's empathy. That's all it is. It's just a different form of it, but it's still empathy. That was my point. Okay, so the next point was at 1550.
growth. Explaining further, he continues, Erich Fromm,
Oops.
he defines a philosopher who fled Nazi Germany. She says, and I quote, Erich Fromm, he defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another person's spiritual growth. Explaining further, he continues, love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both an intention and an action. Will also implies choice. We do not have to love, we choose to love.
So, my comment, we don't choose to love and we don't have to love, as as he says, because everyone says this and it's been a saying for a long time, and many people come up with this saying. This isn't heard from people, have just come up with it because this is true. Love is what love does. Love is as love does. It's the same thing, right? So love is what love does. Love is as love does. That's it. There's no force. There's no choice. There's no anything. It's just love. That's it. Because some people hate what they love, and some people love what they love. So, with that said, there is no choice, basically. For example, you have a dog, or you get to know a dog, and you get familiar with this dog, but your plan was to delete this dog, but you go attached to this dog. You didn't choose to love this dog, but this dog is, you're having affection for a dog. You're falling in love with the dog, right? It's growing on you. That's not a choice. You didn't choose. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. It's not a choice. So you'll notice, as I did, this has nothing to do with Alpha, right? But I have to tear it apart because it's his video. Oh, 17, yeah.
However, but still done, he had more, and to give self that just burst out of his soul like a beautiful painting made of rage, fear, and sadness. Put simply, this is love. It's the
Do you hear that?
having these moments with these bursts of emotion that just burst out of his soul like a beautiful painting made of rage, fear, and sadness. Put simply, this is love.
That is not love. That is fury. Love caused the fury. There is a saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorn. Basically, that has nothing to do with love. It has to do with the fact that she loved something, and then that love burned her. And so now she's mad that the love burned her, right? That's not the love that caused, well, that's not love. Love caused it, is what I'm trying to tell you. The punch is a punch, but it was caused by love. The love caused the scorn, right? Just like
Painting made of rage, fear, and sadness.
right, love caused all of that.
Put simply, this is love.
It isn't love. It was caused by love. You fucking idiot. So normally I would call it there and end it, but because the reason why I would end it is because that was a mistake in number 3, and generally what I do is strike three and you're out, right? But you mentioned the word alpha, and because you mentioned the word alpha, I kept watching because I was trying to find out what you're talking about. So I continued basically. Um, so where are we at? Um, huh? I screwed up. So something 30.
Mona and Sun go feeling let you sent to add feel loud where Vegeta big strength Vegeta makes you feel weak or remind we're about to talk about. Such as the philosophical tweet. Vegeta begins to hate Goku not because he is stronger than him, but because of how Goku's strength makes him feel about himself. Goku weak, or what we're about to talk about. Resentment is the feeling of hatred towards some nihilist 19th century philosopher who had a lot of important ideas, such as the philosophical school of nihilism, eternal recurrence, and what we're about to talk about. Resentment is the feeling of hatred towards something that makes you feel weak or reminds you of a crippling insecurity or lack of ability.
I don't know what resentment is. Resentment? I know what resentment. Like you're resentful, but I don't know resent with the T. I don't know if you're trying to create a word, or I don't know if it's a new word, or you're just saying it weird. But the way you're talking about it, it's like it's a word that we're not supposed to have heard of, or something. You know what I mean? Like it's a new word, or you're trying to explain something. Like it's resentful. Like listen how he says it.
Nihilism, eternal recurrence, but this time it will be his concept of resentment.
Resentment. See?
Nietzsche, we're going to use Nietzsche again, but this time it will be his concept of resentment. Friedrich Nietzsche was a 19th century philosopher who had a lot of important ideas, such as the philosophical school of nihilism, eternal recurrence, and what we're about to talk about. Resentment is the feeling of hatred towards something that makes you feel weak or reminds you of a crippling insecurity or lack of ability. Vegeta.
So I don't know what that is. I'm just going to assume you're an idiot and don't know how to talk, but it's resentment. Not resentment. 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 You're resentful. Right? Not resentful. Resentful. Okay? But anyways, so this was the mention here. Right.
Vegeta begins to hate Goku not because he is stronger than him, but because of how Goku's strength makes him feel about himself.
So it's not that you're stronger. Oh, let me just read it. So Vegeta hates Goku not because he is stronger than him, but because he makes Vegeta feel weaker than Goku. So it's not that you're stronger, it's that I'm weaker. That's basically what he said. And so what I said was that's basically the same thing. Have you ever heard of the saying the glass is half empty or the glass is half full? That's basically what you're doing. This is called semantics, basically, right? And that's basically what's going on. So you're saying, oh, Goku is. It's not that Goku is stronger. It's that Vegeta is weaker. Like, okay, like congratulations. But again, nothing to do with Alpha, right? So it's 2035.
That only be equal to
that you're stronger than me. Yeah, I wasn't really suggesting. What?
Vegeta doesn't value rest like Goku does. He's like
That's it.
one of those people that think muscles are made in the gym. Unfortunately,
Me. Yeah, I wasn't really
Listen to what he says.
suggesting. What?
Vegeta doesn't value rest like Goku does. He's like one of those people that think muscles are made in the gym.
No, that is not true. You can't say that he believes that for sure, because you don't know. All we know is that Goku may just simply have plot armor. We don't know why or what he thinks or why it is that it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is. And you're trying to give reason where there is none. And so, like,
value rest like Goku does.
Vegeta doesn't value rest like Goku does. But he does. He does go to sleep. He does take a break here. You know what I'm saying? You're walking a line here and you're clearly falling off. And I'm correcting you, like I told you I would at the very beginning. I'm your father, the father you never had, right? So 2046.
That true gains are made in the rest periods between training periods. He also doesn't understand that Goku usually has an advantage because of the techniques he knows.
Did you hear that?
He also doesn't understand that Goku usually has an advantage because of the techniques he knows.
Exactly. That's what we call plot armor. It's called a reason beyond, because like, in all honesty, if the world was just, Vegeta would have won, and that's it. Vegeta would have won, the Frieza would have won, and all of that shit would have never happened, and blah blah blah, because blah blah blah. But because Goku had plot armor, because he trained with so and so and learned so and so, he learned so and so, and he was able to defeat Vegeta. You understand? So Vegeta stood in opposition and lost to plot armor because he wasn't the main character. He lost. But again, you're trying to give a reason where there is none, and that's kind of what I'm trying to point out. That that's kind of what I'm trying to point out, basically. So the last point you said about him not valuing sleep and blah blah, it's all bullshit. No, it's he didn't know that Goku trained with God off planet. So basically, he didn't have Vegeta didn't have that, right? So 2109.
But I was speaking who doesn't make logical sense for someone in that culture to seek out mentors or to learn techniques that require multiple people. Vegeta never seeks a mentor in the original manga, but he does rely on Bulma, who he trusts. Vegeta never seeks a mentor in the original manga, but he does rely on Bulma, who he trusts, to get stronger.
So
in that culture to seek out mentors or to learn techniques that require multiple people. Vegeta never seeks a mentor in the original manga, but he does rely on Bulma, who he trusts, to get stronger.
So basically, I'm gonna have to stop you there. It sounds like you're just shooting opinions from your hip, and you're asserting your opinions like we don't know that what you said is true. You're just asserting that. And you're asserting that as facts, and we don't know. And so because we don't know, we can't say. I'm not going to sit here and call out every single stupid statement you make. So I'm going to call the video done, and I'm just going to start skipping until you talk about Alpha. And that's what I did. I stopped the video at this point, right? Because you didn't mention Alpha at all, and you're talking about other stuff, and the things you're talking about were wrong, and the people you were quoting, they were wrong, and I will state my whole fucking channel on it because you're fucking wrong, and I am the smartest man alive with a 200 plus record, bitch. I will take you on if need be, right? That's just who I am. But anyways, so I watched the whole thing, and I wish I skipped to the last chapter at the very beginning because all you said was garbage. Everything you said was garbage. Okay. So at the very end of it, we realized everything you said had nothing to do with anything. But what you were talking about is not Alpha. What you're talking about, the concept of the Saiyans and blah blah blah, and then you refer to Alpha. No, you're not talking about Alpha. You're talking about the Hollywood version of Alpha. Basically, what they say, what Alpha is, that's what you're talking about. That's why you pulled up whatever the fuck his name was.
Trains and to help in combo. Who any earn
What was his name? This guy. You mentioned him because he's not Alpha. He is the Hollywood version of Alpha. He is what they're telling you. He is what they want you to believe. The rich are trying to make you into a dog instead of an Alpha or a chimpanzee. You're a dog. You understand? You're the Alpha of the dog world, but we're chimps. Why are you acting like a dog? We're chimps. You understand? So you're not talking about Alpha, you're talking about Hollywood. Hollywood is the pretend version of alpha. It's when they take the dog from nature and they say that it's an alpha, but in truth the alpha is the monkey in the tree, not the dog. You're saying it's a cultural thing. Alpha exists, but not in the way you think. It does because you believe that Hollywood alpha is alpha, but again, it's Hollywood alpha. Okay, that's kind of the point there. Is this concept of alpha that you see, what you don't realize is that this is what's going on. The Republicans hate Democrats, but they don't realize that that's Hollywood Democrats. You understand? It's what the rich are telling them that's why the left and the right are fighting, because the left are seeing a fake version of the right and the right are seeing a fake version of the left, and you're fighting a straw man, basically, or puppets, basically. And your idea of alpha, it's also a puppet. It's tricking you. This is why little girls are being sluts right now, because they have been tricked into believing this is the way. Andrew Tate is the way, when in truth, no, he isn't. He's a little bitch. He's a little fucking dumbass. A monkey will fucking pull a gun and shoot a dog. What the fuck is a dog gonna do? Pull a gun out? No. That's why the monkey's better, because the monkey can shoot the dog. You understand? We're monkeys. We're chimps. We're chimps for a reason. We're not dogs for a reason. Okay? So at the end of the day, you are right. And what happened did happen. But again, it didn't defeat Alpha. He defeated Sane Pride. And that same pride is basically the Hollywood alpha. Okay? Not alpha, Hollywood alpha. That's the difference. That's kind of why I kind of like this video, because it was you legitimately explaining something, and there is truly a concept to follow here, and that's why I do what I do. Is I see what people are doing, and I just simply correct it or put it on track and let it continue doing its thing. That's what I wanted to do when I was a kid with businesses. Right? I wanted to go work somewhere, become the CEO, and eventually be able to leave that place and then go start somewhere else and do it again. And then reach CEO, be the best, and have it run like a top tier, and then leave and then go somewhere else and do it again. But the problem was there is corruption all over the world. Like I was talking about the like I remember when I was younger talking about World of Warcraft. I had a concept that was about guilds and whatnot, and like I wanted this and that or blah blah blah. And then my friend was like, that won't work, because he had a better concept, a barometer, or whatever, of what reality was and what reality had and in store. And so he kept saying, yes, that can exist in a perfect world. And I was like, well, in spite of you, I'm going to make a guild called the Perfect World, and I'm going to have my rules that would only exist in a perfect world. They're going to apply here, because that perfect world is possible. You have to make it. As a participant, yes, you can't exist in the world and make it, because the system is rigged. So what you do is you stop playing the game and create a new game, and everyone starts playing that new game because it's fair and a better game, and now that game is the main game, and everyone's playing that game. That's the idea. The better idea wins. This one's corrupt, bullshit, sell it or fix it. And that's kind of what I do. So anyways, that's why I chose this. So again, you are correct. But the problem is, you're talking about the Saiyans and Hollywood Alpha, right? Hollywood tells you that the biggest alpha is the biggest guy, has the most guns or the nicest car, and blah blah blah. That's in the dog world. That's why they have the biggest. I have the biggest bone. That's why you see like dogs walk around with like trees in their mouths, and they feel like I'm the king, I'm the best, I'm the champion. And that's what the rich want. They want you stupid and fighting for the biggest bone. You're fighting over the dog houses. Meanwhile, they're living in the mansion. You understand? That's how it works. That's what I've been saying. That's what my channel is all about. I'm calling everything out. I've been calling shit out for years. You realized it, but you're confused. You seem to think that Hollywood alpha is the real alpha, when in truth, Hollywood alpha is Hollywood alpha. Has nothing to do with real alpha. These guys on stage aren't alpha. The biggest muscles, this isn't alpha. You're the biggest dog. Congratulations. Here's your security badge. Go guard the front door, dog. Right? We have human things to do. Stuff where alphas socially should be. You're the biggest dog, Andrew Tate people. Enjoy the front door, enjoy the guardhouse, and enjoy the little fucking the whatever bones we throw for you. That's why the rich want you stupid. So, anyways, that's the whole point of my channel, and why I don't go anywhere is because the rich know that if they help me grow, then they will fall. Much like Bernie Sanders. This is why Bernie Sanders can fill a stadium, but he can't fill the chat room, because they know that we tell you the truth, and they don't like that. They don't want that. They want you to think that Hollywood alpha is the real alpha. They want little girls to be sluts. They want this. They want that. They want you to ruin your life. And then your future, you're like, oh, I regret everything. Well, guess what? Too bad. You can't do anything about it. You know why? Because, what's it called? Rules are set, right? People own houses. People own this, that, blah, blah, blah. Like, the law is the law. And you decided to throw away your keys, so congratulations, you're fucked. That's how it is. And that's what the rich want. That's what they call brain rot. So anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Stay real. Keep it easy. Have a good one. Be well, be happy, be safe. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I'm out. So I hope I explained everything good enough. I hope this concept went across. And everyone should watch it. Everyone should see it. And I hope you enjoyed the Black Guy's Nice Ass, because that's it. Anyways, I'm out here. Look at that. Like, that's good. But that's not alpha. Right? A bullet is not going to, like, he's not going to stop a bullet. A bullet's the same thing no matter what. Right? Alphas won't get shot. Because, well, an alpha could get shot, but an alpha won't be in that position, essentially. A dog would. Look at him. He's asking for a bullet right there. An alpha would never be in that position. You know what I'm saying? An ignorant kid might, but that's why they have parents. And again, some people don't have parents. That's where I come in. I'm the dad you never had. I'm the teacher you wish that you had growing up, and I'm correcting your work. And again, that's why I offer my services. I'm a coach. You can pay if you have something and you're working on something, or if you want to do something or get somewhere and you need someone to talk to, you can pay me and talk to me, and I will help you through whatever the fuck you're going through. I have hella wisdom. I have hella knowledge. Hit me up. I'm not going to live forever. I'm probably going to die in like a year or two. But anyways, I'm out here. So be well, be happy, be safe, take care, God bless, be strong, be loved, share the wealth, share life, share the health. Extend the ladders. Don't pull them in. Stop trying to blame immigrants. You're fucking. It's the rich. The rich are the problem, right? If they would stop making boats, there'd be more beds. Okay. So anyways, I'm out here. So peace. Don't let the door hit you, or the Lord split you in peace. Oh yeah, enjoy the Black Guy's Nice Ass. Yeah. Yeah. I would tickle it, but it's too far. Anyways, peace.